Well. It looks like the FCC and Donald Trump were never behind the Jimmy Kimmel sidelining. And quite frankly, I knew that. But for whatever reason, the left-wing media has been running with that. They were sidelining him because Sinclair Broadcasting said, we're not going to air this monster show anymore. Well, it was just reported now that loser scumbag piece of garbage, Jimmy Kimmel, will be returning to the airwaves tomorrow night. Now, we have a lot to talk about because I have strong feelings on what he should say and what he actually will say. So let's get into it. Huge shout out to everyone, by the way, who has gone to Coffee Brand Coffee on Amazon. It's my coffee company. We have 50 different flavors and blends to choose from. Our fall flavors are in stock. Our 5-pound bags are in stock. All free overnight shipping. Our full K-cup selection's up there. Get our dark roast K-cups if you're looking for like a regular everyday drinker coffee. Our blackberries and cream. Free overnight shipping. Help support the show. And then if you've gotten it, please go back and leave a review because we definitely need more reviews. That helps us rank better. Now, Kimmel was initially in talks with Disney executives to renegotiate the return of his late night TV show host. They told him that he had to issue an apology. He, of course, refused to do so. Well, it seems like perhaps he's going to bend the knee. We'll have to see. I think an unfunny Jimmy Kimmel live show existing is totally fine. I don't have to watch it. Nobody has to watch it. It's fine. But if he's going to continue to knowingly use, U.S. taxpayer-funded federal airwaves to spread those lies, then I want him gone. Well, we're going to find out tomorrow night if he actually learned anything, if he actually had any contrition, if he actually accepts any responsibility for whipping up Americans into this bloodthirsty, really just leftists, into these bloodthirsty monsters. Jimmy Kimmel set to return to ABC tomorrow night after being yanked off the air over Charlie Kirk comments. The Walt Disney Company announced Monday Jimmy Kimmel Live will return to the air Tuesday following a week-long suspension over his monologue about Charlie Kirk's murder. In the statement, Disney said it halted production last week Wednesday to avoid further inflaming a tense situation at an emotional moment for this country. The company added that some of the comments were ill-timed and thus insensitive. So Disney has said, just so you know, the boycott of Disney is back on. The boycott of Disney is back on because they ultimately said, we agree with what you said. We just don't like the timing of it. We agree, but we don't like the timing of it. You're okay to lie to the American people and say that his life was taken by a right-wing MAGA supporter. The executive said they spent several days in discussion with Kimmel before concluding the late-night program could resume. The suspension from ABC followed remarks by Kimmel in which he claimed MAGA activist Kirk was killed by other supporters of President Trump, despite authorities saying the alleged killer, he was a leftist and he had a leftist social media history. Former Disney CEO Michael Eisner blasted the decision, accusing the company of yielding to out-of-control intimidation from federal regulators. But again, there was no push from federal regulators. That never happened. ABC affiliates, including Nexstar and Sinclair, had threatened to preempt the show unless action was taken, and the FCC Brendan Carr publicly warned the company could face additional scrutiny if they didn't intervene. Well, I think they should still face additional scrutiny. Disney's move temporarily replaced Jimmy Kimmel Live with reruns and specials. The company had not disclosed whether the show's format or content guidelines will change when he returns. Now we know Disney supports him lying to the American people. Disney has supported the heinous things that were said about Charlie Kirk and about Trump supporters. And so you know what you need to do. The Disney boycott's back on. Cancel your Disney Plus. If you can't cancel it, find a friend and share. If you can't share, find different ways, legal ways to enjoy your Disney list, or just don't watch it. There's plenty of other stuff to watch. It's unclear whether Kimmel has agreed to apologize for his comments, tying Kirk's alleged shooter to President Trump's MAGA movement. Well, if he doesn't, I hope the FCC throws the book at him. Sinclair, the media company that owns dozens of ABC affiliates nationwide, had publicly demanded Kimmel issue an apology to Kirk's family, as well as offer donation to Kirk's conservative active group, Turning Point USA. I don't care about the donation thing. If I'm Charlie Kirk, I'm TPUSA, or Erica Kirk, I don't want his blood money anyway. In the days since Wednesday's suspension, Disney and Kimmel were reportedly in active talks about his return. Negotiations were said to have hinged on whether or not Kimmel will issue an apology, something he had so far resisted, or merely a clarification on his remarks. Insiders previously reported Kimmel felt he had nothing to apologize for. The Kimmel detente comes as Disney is balancing staff concerns about safety, advertiser pressure, and affiliate threats with its broader business interests, including ongoing sports and media deals. Well, anything other than a full-throated, I lied to you, I lied, and this is the truth, the boycott should be on and should be tougher than ever. There's a reason that 20% of this country still thinks that Charlie Kirk's assassin was right wing. It's because of Jimmy Kimmel. People like him. The media and the entertainment giant is seeking regulatory approval for a deal with the NFL valued between $2 and $3 billion. Trade reports note executives want to avoid inflaming political tensions further while still bringing Kimmel back to protect ABC's late night lineup. I mean, they caved. Of course, he'll have huge ratings on Tuesday. People will tune in to hear what he says. He'll have slightly less ratings on Wednesday because he's just going to say exactly what people knew he was going to say. He's going to accept no responsibility. He's going to act like, this is Trump's FCC. There's no shot. People saying, again, the FCC chair has denied government censorship led to Jimmy Kimmel's suspension. It was because of his ratings. Carr has faced bipartisan. Any attempt by the government to get involved with speech, I will fight, Rand Paul said. I agree with that. Ted Cruz says Carr's warning was right out of Goodfellas, likening it to a mobster shakedown of a bar owner. Former Disney CEO Michael Eisner called it out of control intimidation. Jimmy Kimmel is a no-talent loser who has beclowned himself with tanking ratings by spewing disgusting lies to his audience, spokesperson Stephen Chung told The Post. That's why the network kicked him to the curb and used empty beer can. Disney pulled the Jimmy Kimmel Live after comedian tied Kirk's accused assassin, Tyler Robinson, to the MAGA movement during his September 15th broadcast. Utah officials obviously described Robinson as steeped in far-left ideology, sending text messages where he admitted to targeting Kirk because of hatred for the conservative activist. Nexstar and Sinclair, owners of dozens of ABC affiliates, quickly preempted Kimmel, signaling they would not air the program unless action was taken. Disney announced Kimmel's indefinite suspension 2 days after the broadcast. The controversy has drawn condemnation from entertainers as well. Loser Howard Stern said, "I can no longer keep my mouth shut. This involves the ABC network. They did some really dumb, effing horrible." Stern, who had fought his own battles with the FCC, when the government says, "I'm not pleased with you, so we're going to orchestrate a way to silence you," it's wrong direction for the country. I agree with that. I don't think that's what happened. I don't think they canceled him because of Brandon Carr's comments. I believe they were trying to have their cake and eat it too. They were trying to, figure out how can we get out of this salary. This huge salary that we're losing, $50 million, is too much. And then their own people turn against them. So the real question is, does Sinclair, the ABC affiliate, by the way, they cucked out on airing the Charlie Kirk documentary, by the way. Sinclair said that they were going to air a Charlie Kirk documentary. They never did it. They were supposed to air that on Friday. They never did it. just so we're all clear, they never did it. Sinclair reversed its commitment to an air documentary on the life of conservative activist Charlie Kirk on a Friday evening time slot reserved for Jimmy Kimmel Live. The decision was announced late Friday evening, a few hours after the documentary on Kirk was scheduled to air in place of Jimmy Kimmel Live. Sinclair-owned ABC affiliates cucked out, or they got paid off. Somebody got the call, something happened. There's a reason something happened here. They abandoned their principles in exchange for money. Now, will Sinclair's special report, will it air? Will they continue to air Kimmel? You see Matt Walsh saying, Kimmel's show was put on pause for like 3 days, and yet leftists will look us dead in the eyes and tell us that there was the greatest attack on free speech, more so than the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I mean, leftists shot up the ABC building over it. You know? Trump is the worst dictator ever. What a waste of money. We are Jimmy Kimmel. Like, Lamau, the $1 billion wrongful termination suit, sent a shiver down their signs. I don't believe so. You know, good news, I've never watched Kimmel and probably never will, but no one should be taken off the air under the duress of the federal government. Yeah, I don't think that was actually the case. In fact, if anything, this basically proves Trump had nothing to do with it. But I suppose we'll have to wait and see his heartfelt apology tomorrow night. I'm not going to hold my breath. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope if you drink coffee, you will check it out. By the way, our Tangerine K-Cups are on sale for just $5.99 right now, so you definitely want to pick those up. I highly recommend our summer flavors, the blackberry cream, our blueberry cobbler, strawberries and cream, our dark roast, our silky ultra dark roast, our fall flavors are in. There's literally something for everybody. Link in the description. We'll talk to you again real soon.